the Nashville International Airport. I actually live in Lebanon, no, not Lebanon, Lebanon, Tennessee, which is very close to Nashville. A couple little towns, they're growing towns in between us, which is Mount Juliet. If you've ever been to the east side of Nashville. And I'm here tonight representing Revolution Networks, Revolution Roofing. I see we have the Honorable Mr. Clint Robertson in the room, one of the owners of Revo Roofing. I know he's working diligently with Paul Michael, another owner of a trio of owners that own Revolution Roofing. So most of you know me. If not, you'll know I've been around quite a while. I'm a senior citizen. Finally, I say finally. Well, you get there and you go, oh, really? And you get on Medicare and Medicaid. Well, that's not what we're here to talk about. But I've been networking a long, long time, since about 1980. If you do the math, that's a long, long time. I've been very fortunate to be a part of a lot of networks, very successful companies. I have some I could talk about for an hour by themselves, but that's not why we're here tonight. But hey, John, Lloyd, great to have you here, Lamar. And if anybody else joins and I miss you, thank you for being here. We are recording. And again, we will put this up on Facebook on the Revolution Roofing website. You know, in our lives, there's a lot that happens, and we sometimes get opportunities. You know, we look around and we see problems in the world. How many times a week do you refer your network to different companies? And that reminds me of when we've referred people to nice restaurants we've been to, maybe a nice shopping center, maybe an area of a city we've been to. We all refer people, and most of the time we don't get paid. So we're going to talk about getting paid a little bit, and we're going to talk about what Revolution Networks is. That's what I'm calling it, Revolution Networking. Revolution Roofing is our primary topic tonight. And again, we have an amazing process of what we're going to do in the roofing business. We'll talk about that as we scroll through the presentation. But what we want to do is be rewarded for what we do. We all do. That's what we'd like to have. If you're going to work and use your time and energy, wouldn't it be great if you got paid for your connections so you could maximize your income? And, you know, when you're younger, retirement don't matter as much, but that immediate need is so big. Especially, I'm around a lot of young people now that are believe it or not, they're buying houses. But those are the young people who have those $80,000 a year incomes or more. And sometimes that's husband and wife. And when you have it that great, it's great. But when you don't, people are living where they have to struggle and get by. We're going to look at options. We're going to talk about monetizing our connections. And so we can turn that into our own financial gain. But we need it. We want it. Prices are increasing, but no matter what it is, some of us just love working with people, love building teams. And I do. And I've joined and really enjoyed that for a long, long time. And so let's talk about what is the Revo Network. It's an evolving network. Paul Michael, Clint Robertson, and the others around him are working on projects. They're putting tools together, and they're offering us other options. And if we have a company that don't perform, they get replaced is what happens, right? So what Paul's doing, and I'm going to say it this way, I think of it as a smorgasbord, as a buffet of business. I've referred this to many times. Everybody doesn't do everything that you're offered. But if you have a opportunity to refer business, if it's in your, I call it the tool belt, then when you do have that option and something comes up, then you can refer people to that job. We're going to talk about a roofing job. You can refer people maybe to a solar job, or maybe it would be something to the framework of, what if you could refer a person who had an injury to a personal injury attorney and get paid for it? So the Revo Network model emphasizes the importance of relationships and generating income by creating seamless loop from connection to payment. The framework allows individuals to monetize their networks effortlessly with the least amount of effort. And you'll see in what we do that a lot of times that just means filling out a form. Everybody doesn't do all components of all things that we do in the network. And again, it boils back down to relationships. It's the leverage. Connections benefit from services and solutions offered. earn income from successful referrals. I'll tell you what, I get excited when I think about what these guys are doing in the world of successful connections. In a world of transactions, we prioritize genuine relationships that foster long-lasting connections and mutual benefits. And it does boil down to trust. You know, if somebody says, I had a really good steak at Ruth Chris, you trust that you're going to be able to go and get one. You know what happens sometimes? That don't always happen. And you go, I'm never going back there again. Have you ever done that? And you go, well, that's a terrible restaurant. No, it's not. You had a bad chef. You had a bad day. You had a bad steak. But one of the things I am is a visionary. We have a network that connects you to multiple income streams. And what's going to happen over the next few days, over the next few weeks, these are going to come to light, the specifics of how these income streams are going to be offered to you so that when you're in and out and about in your world, that you can pull from your tool belt and bring up and refer somebody to something. It could be legal, financial, it could be a number of things. But what we're going to find is Revo is not about one product. It's not about one service. It's not about a ride share specifically. It could be about roofing is where I want to stick tonight, because fortunately, Paul and Mr. Robertson, Mr. Michael, I'll call him, have announced to us that we're going to have a tool that they've been working on. Well, at first, Paul wasn't going to tell me about it. He's like, okay, let them know tonight that we have something coming. And I'm thinking, Paul, in the back of my mind, you always got these thoughts, right? He says, tell them we have something coming. Okay, well, that's what I'll do. I'll be excited about it. I am excited about it. And then he tells me later, it's like, you know what? Just go ahead and tell them. Tell them what it is. And you're sitting there thinking, okay, Rodney, tell us what it is. And you've heard him over the last few weeks say there's something coming. And what that something is they are finalizing an app that will do the measuring and appraisal of a roof job. And I get really excited when I think about the roof job. I have never in my life thought that I would be out looking at roofs, and I do now. I just a couple of months ago, my first roof I looked at, I was in a big warehouse of products, thousands of products, and it's December. It's actually a while ago when I experienced this, and I'm looking up and I'm seeing plastic that's hanging down. I'm seeing products that's covered up. I'm seeing leaks, and this is a huge building, and it just helps me realize that when I found out that the average roofing job is $500,000, and that the average commission on that is about $12,500 when you do the math, and I'm thinking, I could use that. So there's larger jobs, smaller jobs, but here's what happened in the Revolution Roofing Network. Somebody registered just like you did. And if you haven't registered yet, just register. It doesn't cost you anything. Just register, get involved. And what happens is you decide if you're going to help find business. How do you do that? There's a lot of ways to do that. Now, you don't have to become a storm chaser, get in a car, put all this equipment in, and start chasing where the tornadoes go. It's not necessary. You know what? You can do whatever you want to do, but if you don't do it, you know what you can do? You can find people around you that says, you know what? I would do that. I would refer a job if I found it. And some people are going to be more aggressive. They're not going to say, if I find a job. They're going to go find a job. They're going to get to know people who have jobs. And there's a lot of people in the industry. There's a long list of people that you can talk to that are in the middle of jobs. The one that I knew Mr. Robertson talked about originally when I first heard of anything about this was people who are property managers. Can you imagine knowing somebody or meeting somebody that manages 100 apartments, 500 apartments? What if they manage a network of apartments? And the thing about this is relationships. Just like I said a couple minutes ago, who do you know? And if you don't know people, what do? Go to the chamber, join a group, and offer whatever is in your tool belt. But I get really excited about this app. And I don't know hardly anything about it yet, but we're going to find out really soon. And I don't know what soon means. I don't mean tomorrow. I don't know. It might mean a week, but sooner in our lives is not that. It'll be sometime reasonably soon, and you'll learn how to use it. But I'm going to go back to what happened in Revolution Roofing in the very beginning. somebody registered and they talked to a friend or family. I don't know the whole story, but they referred somebody to come into the business to do this. And that person wound up getting a job in Texas of a building that is, if I remember right, a couple miles long. But here's what I do know. It's a multi-million-dollar roof. And here's the other thing I know. The gentleman who found this job is getting a little over around $7,500 a week in commission. And the person who referred him, if you do the math, is getting a significant income also. And so the point is, and you can get paid 4 levels in this pay plan, is you might not find the job, but what if you have a team of people who find different jobs? So you can find a big roof that's 2 miles long, or you can find a lot of buildings that are, maybe they're just 100,000 square feet. Maybe they're 500,000 square feet. In fact, when the number 500 comes up, again, it reminds me of the average roofing job is $500,000. So the average commercial roofing job will pay you $12,500 after you do the math. There's a pay plan. It's simple, but just stay tuned. Stay in touch with the person who brought you around Revolution Roofing and Revolution Networks and find out what's next. You never know. There's a legal model that offers a straightforward approach to legal services. By connecting individuals with quality legal expertise, the Revo Network empowers users to access essential services without expected costs, fostering trust and collaboration with the community. Upcoming opportunities, renovations. We're going to hear more details about the renovations. Now, I again got excited and still excited and stay excited about the roof. I wrote a little guide for all of us for my group called From the Roof Down. And in this guide, the one thing it points out is how once a roof has been identified, there's a roof that needs to be replaced, repaired, and it's really common sense thinking, but roofs don't just have roofs, they have gutters. And what happens when a building has leaks, and that's very common in this area, right, of where you need a roof. When you have leaks, you have other problems. It's real simple. Look around. What do you have? Walls. You have carpet, and you have moisture. You have mold, and just anything can happen from the roof down. So renovations is huge, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with the roof. It might be what Mr. Clint Robertson did on Boise Boys. Go to YouTube is the easiest place I know to find. Just put in Boise Boys and watch some of the clips. They're short. They don't show the whole shows, but they are filming as we speak and getting ready to launch at some point a show called Building Boise. So we're going to learn more about the renovations. If you want to understand renovations, that's how you're going to do it. Go watch some of that on HDTV clips on YouTube of Boise Boys. It goes way back to like 2010. In fact, that's the year that he was on The Apprentice and was runner-up on season 10. And Mr. Robertson has an extensive background in renovations and taking, it's so hard to explain sometimes, an average property, a less than average property, and with he and his partner turned it into an immense, I mean, a beautiful, upper scale, high quality properties. The one thing about Revolution Roofing I remember is this: they don't use junk products. They don't use cheap products. And another thing that he told me about Mr. Robertson is that he has a relationship with Home Depot where he can get better pricing. His credentials is getting some deals where we can get more jobs because of that. So another product that might come in or is on the table is solar. I don't have anything to explain about the solar except for it's out there. You know it's out there. I know that there's taxes, there's discounts, taxation, or whatever it is. I don't understand the programs yet, but you might know a little bit about it. But there's tax deductions when you get solar. And I know there's some expiration dates. So there's going to be some reason to take a look at that really soon. Tax credits. Did you know that every restaurant in America pays FICA tax, which is Social Security and also Medicare, every pay period on their employees who are tipped? And they have been doing it for years. They pay in thousands, or in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. Here's what most restaurant owners don't know, specifically restaurant owners for the moment. They can get, since 1993, 100% of their money back. 100%. So what if you met someone or know someone that owns a restaurant and there's an 80% chance to 90% chance that they don't know that they can get their money back? Here's what you'll tell them. I work with the tax attorney. I work with experts. I work with people in that field, and we want to be we are the brain surgeons of this credit, this tax credit. Your CPA may not know about it. They may know about it and just don't have time for it. It's complicated. There's a lot of forms. There's a lot of laws to read. They can't stop. Most accountants and people in that field are busy, right? So they have to keep doing what they're doing. So what we do is we offer our service. We connect them with a phone call to understand their qualification, understand the process. And we have a calculator that shows this thing. It shows about how much money they're going to get right up front. You put in a few numbers in a matter of a minute or two, say, John, it looks like you can get back about $40,000 a year, and you can get that for 3 years. That's a fact. Look it up. FICA space tips space taxes. Do your own research. I did, and it's there. Merchant services. A lot of us know the name Tony Swantek. I met Tony quite a few years ago now. Tony and Paul were owners of a company when we got started called Snap Delivered. Tony has owned, and so has Paul, delivery companies. I know that Tony has owned credit card processing companies for a very long time, doing billions of dollars of processing, and an amazing success story with Tony and Paul. But what if you could get paid on merchant services? What if every time that card swipes forever, as long as that company keeps your service, keeps that business? Watch for that coming down the pike. So another service. And look, what I say tonight is not going to be everything. As I flip through this presentation, I'm thinking of other opportunities that I have heard about. And some of them will come to this network and be offered to you. What do you have to do? Just stay tuned. And I can't help but think, I always think about A.O. Williams. I work with him personally. I drove 150 miles every Monday to go to his Monday morning manager meeting in Atlanta, Georgia, and sat with him and a small group of people doing a national broadcast. But here's the one thing that stuck from A.O. Williams above all things as far as coaching. When he would finish his coaching and he was talking to you or me, he would say one thing: just do it. And here's what I'm going to offer to you tonight. And it's something I do. Pay attention. Look at what's happening regularly. You don't want to miss it. If something comes up and you miss it, you're going to not know you could have got excited. You missed it totally. So just stay in the loop. That's what you're doing. That's what you're in here doing tonight, is staying in the loop. We talk about duplication. I was taught duplication when I was 20 years old. Duplication is where I go out and get a couple people, show them what I'm doing, get them involved. I might have to talk to 10 to get 2, but don't matter. That's not the point right now, right? Is duplicating our network. That could mean getting 3 people, getting 4 people. Here's the thing about what we're doing, and one thing that Paul made very clear to me. In our businesses, we're not in a binary. We're not in any of these other type of programs where you can't refer as many people as you want to. You don't have to worry about that with Revo networks. In this example, he's talking about the power of 3. 3 turns into 9, turns into 27, turns into, you get the numbers 81 and 256, 512. That's 512 people all. And I did this with Snap. I brought in 297 people. Am I bragging? Absolutely am. You know what? That took blood, sweat, and tears in a couple years to bring in, but I was steady. I remember when I was bringing in 1 or 2 people a month. And I looked at myself and what I was doing, I'm thinking, why don't I do more than that? And I upped my ante. And all of a sudden, my numbers are higher and higher. And over a period of years, it was, for that particular network, it was 297 people to date. It's still in the books. We can still look at it. But what that network turned into, because of the power of 3, the power of 2, any way you want to put it, is that second level turned into over 1,100 people that I still have on my books, meaning I still have their contact information. I still have their phone number. I still have their email. And what happened for that network with this power of three is it turned to over 5,100 people by the time that network got put on hold, because that part of it was finished. And a lot of that was because of employee retention tax credits. It doesn't matter in this network if you work alone and never recruit anybody or not. That's your choice. And there's a lot of people. In fact, the average person in the United States of America who goes into networking only refers 2 people. Why? Because most people do very little to nothing. Most people do nothing. Do you know that most of the success in business and networking comes from about 10 to 20% of the people that's on the books? You probably do know that. And with that being true, it'd be wise to have a big book of business, right? And that's what I made sure I did, is just keep moving. Who is this for? Everybody. Anybody. Your network is making someone wealthy. Is it you? I'm going to just change that instead of why not you. Is it you? And if it isn't you, why not? It's because I'm going to tell you what I thought about so many times the last couple of days. People are getting ready to get ready to get ready. And you know what they accomplish? Nothing. I don't want to get ready to get ready to get ready. I want to be present. I want to be on time. I want to start these meetings on time. If you're to be in a meeting, I want you to be on time so we can get started so you don't miss anything. You say, well, I'll watch it on the recording. Well, what if you don't get to the recording? And what if something really special was said that night? Some people say, oh, that presentation's the same every time. No, it's not. You know why? Because there's nuggets that drop. I've learned that from time to time. So if I'm not at a meeting I know I should be at, or a training session, that's what I do, is I make sure I go back and watch the most current, at least that last week or two, and find out what's going on. What is it? I don't know, because you're not going to hear everything every week. And this is once a week. We're doing this right now. Well, I'm excited. There's some amazing, great people in the room tonight. I see who you are. I know a lot of you, and some I don't. But I'm Rodney Bush. I've been around Paul for years, helping him. I helped him in many ways. I was honored to have a desk at the home office for a while, had a key to the front door, and I've been put in a good place. But I'm here to encourage you. Find what's right for you, but watch this network. And it's not about any one person. It's not just about Paul. It's not about Mr. Robertson. It's not about me or anybody else. It's about what's on the table. Is it for you at that point? And if you don't find out what's on the buffet, if you don't know the whole buffet, you'll go home and you'll say, well, I didn't know that was on the buffet. I missed that. And maybe that's what would have been good for you to have. So we've been here 25 minutes, live about 23. And I tell you what, I look forward to the next time we get back together. Here's what you can expect. Expect the unexpected. And what I mean by that is watch the Facebook group. That's the #1 place right now to find out what's going on. And go in there and make a comment. Go in there and ask a question. Have some activity. If you have a team member that's not a part of that, tell them where it's at. I've had people come back to Facebook that don't like Facebook. I get that. But they come back just to communicate for this one reason. It's for this one company. Communicate, stay healthy. I'm more healthier than ever. I'm walking a mile to 2 or 3, and some days I've done 4. And I'm losing weight. I'm getting sharper. I'm more excited at age 65 than ever. And I'm going to tell you one more thing as I close. I heard all my life that a lot of successful people in the world did not gain their success until they were older. Now, I don't mean they wasn't moderately successful. I mean, you got people who are in great professions, doctors, lawyers, teachers, all these great people of the world, contractors, construction, whatever it is. But for people to truly get their net value, net worth, and really accomplish some big goals for whatever reason, a lot of times it's people 55, 65, and 75. Well, I'm in that category now. I've done really well. I've had great years, and you can too. Join us next week, same time, for the same room at 9 o'clock Eastern. That's 8 Central. And we'll see. Paul might be back. If not, I'll bring you glad tidings and good news next week. So thanks for being here. We'll end this session and see you then.